Hi, this is Jeffrey Kerr at Kerr Financial Group, and today is October 25, 2024. It's Friday. I mentioned earlier in the week about a Goldman Sachs report, and I wanted to spend a few minutes today talking about that and kind of pointing out some of the conclusions that they arrive at. First of all, the bottom line is their forecast for the next 10 years in the stock market is for an average of 3% returns in the stock market. That's not to say every year they're forecasting is 3% each year. It could go up, it could go down. They acknowledge that they don't have each year's forecast, but they know that it could be up 20%, or it could be down 30%. But the average for the next 10 years they forecast at 3% total return. And they go into a lot of detail on it, and they focus on five indicators that they use in their model. One is valuation, two, economic fundamentals, three, interest rates, four, market concentration, five, profitability. So those five inputs they come up with with their forecast. And some of the negatives here that they talk about is valuations. Stocks are extremely highly valued here in the US, especially the leaders. Market concentrations, which also speaks to the leadership in that the S&P 500 is controlled by 5 to 10 stocks. It's usually this concentration is historic. Last year we kept referring to the Magnificent Seven. Those seven stocks drove a lot of the returns, and while there's not maybe seven stocks, but there's still a high amount of concentration in the U.S. stock market, which is an added risk rather than historical setups. So those type of things they believe could lead to some, risks and maybe some downward moves in the U.S. stock market. And I think that that's something to continue to consider for investors who may be doing a 401k or a target dated fund or an index fund. I mean, there's, again, a lot of risk to this market. They could continue, and Goldman acknowledges that at the end of their report, saying, hey, if these things continue, then you're going to earn better than 3% a year. But historically, the markets do change, and I think it's somewhat unlikely that we end up with this continued high concentration and continued valuations that are just astronomical. The economic fundamentals are going to change, interest rates are going to change that whole backdrop, and profitability because of economics and tax rates and interest rates are going to change too. But just wanted to point that out. Let me know if there's any questions. There's a lot in this report, and I'll try to get more of it out over time. But again, just trying to point out that somebody as smart as Goldman acknowledges and predicts that the future is going to be pretty risky when it comes to the stock market. Thank you again. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.